Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Mental Monday. Welcome to the show. I'm Cassidy Quinn. If you're new here, this is where we hang out every Monday night live. Usually, we talk about our brains, our bodies, how we're feeling, and how we can hopefully get ourselves feeling a little bit better because Mondays we can think that they are not so great, but Mondays don't have to suck, okay? If we start the week on a positive note, if we have a good time, if we talk to each other and open up, we can feel better. So, thank you guys for joining me today. I just got back from a lovely trip to the beach, to the Oregon coast. I live here in Portland and in Portland, Oregon, and it's only like an hour and a half to 2 hours to drive to the ocean, to see the ocean, depending what part of the coast you want to go to. And so it was one of my friends, my coworkers, if you're a viewer of KGW, where I work, if you know Brittany Falker, she's one of my good friends here in Portland. It was her birthday. So happy birthday, Brittany. We celebrated her birthday camping with a few of us, socially distant, of course. For me, camping is, and just getting outside has been the best way to keep myself feeling good mentally and physically, but also healthily, like staying away from people, social distancing. You can do it outside. Apparently my landlord has decided that it's time to like hammer something outside. I don't know what's happening, but I have no control of it. Anyway, I don't want to say it too loud because I'll be like, oh god, Cassidy's live streaming again. Anyways, so we went camping, and then during the day we actually went to the beach. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram post today, but on Saturday we hung out at a beach called Short Sands, and I had never been there before. Tucker, my boyfriend, who as usual on Mental Mondays, while I'm live, he is driving to pick us up takeout food, which is great. Tucker is feeling a little bit of the, what do they call them? The Sunday scaries, but what do you call them on Mondays? Like the Monday moodies where you went out of town, you had a fun adventure over the weekend, and then Monday's back and you're like, oh no, the weekend's over, adventure time is over, we're back to real life. So Tucker and I discussed, we said, okay, what would we want to have for dinner? Because food speaks to us, it makes us feel better. I think that's an okay thing as long as we're not like binging multiple pints of ice cream every single night. So we said sushi would sound good and it would make us feel good. So he's picking up some takeout sushi. When he's back, we will eat dinner and we're going to watch what we're binging at the moment, Umbrella Academy on Netflix. We just started watching it a few days ago. I love it. It took me like an episode to get into it and figure out, excuse me, there's like a talking monkey and these people have powers, and it takes me a minute to get out of my logical brain and get into this like fantasy world, which I think is why I've never gotten, don't hate me for saying this, never got into Lord of the Rings, never got into Game of Thrones. Like I just have a hard time getting into this like fantasy realm world. But this one, once I put that aside in my brain, I loved it. Okay, I'm into Umbrella Academy. I'm into it. It's great. So we've been binge watching that. We'll do that tonight. We'll eat our sushi. We'll feel better, right? But here's what we did this weekend to feel better. We went to Short Sands on the coast, a beautiful beach. If you have not seen a picture of it, go look at my Instagram, Cassidy Quinn TV. I posted a picture there today, and I just keep looking at that picture and going, wow, what a beautiful beach. Let me be back there in my mind right now. Tucker had been there before because earlier this year, Tucker decided he wanted to learn how to surf. And so he's been talking to a few of his friends who know how to surf and figuring out if we could borrow their gear. And he's also been learning to mountain bike. And I said, okay, Tucker, I don't think I want to learn how to mountain bike with you, but I will learn how to surf, okay? I'm on board, literally, for this surfing thing. So we borrowed some gear from our friends. You might wonder, Cassidy, have you ever surfed before? I had surfed for 1 week before this weekend when I was 12 years old, okay? I was 12 years old, which was just like a couple years ago. And so it's been a while since I had surfed, but I surfed for an entire week at a surf camp in Tofino, British Columbia, which I didn't realize at the time, how big of a surfing mecca this was. Like when I talk to people who are adult surfers now, they're like, whoa, you surfed in Tofino when you were 12? That's legit. So apparently that was very cool, but then I had not set foot on a surfboard except for wake surfing, which you do behind a boat with a rope. Very different. You're not like paddling out to the waves, which adds a lot of difficulty to it, obviously. So I hadn't surfed since I was 12 years old. But today, no, not today, this weekend we tried it for the first time. And I was very, very excited as we were on our way there, getting ready. And then as soon as it was time to actually put on the wetsuit and get in the ocean and head out there, it was a bit of a little, oh shoot, what am I doing moment. Because you're going out of the ocean, which can be scary depending on whether or not you're like afraid of sharks or just how you feel about going into open water and not necessarily knowing what's under you. I don't have a big fear of the ocean. However, I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to salt water, and I forget that about myself sometimes, that I hang out. Most of the water that I get in is fresh water, it's lakes or rivers. And so I'm not used to the whole salt in my eye thing, and I know that I can get used to that. I hope that I can get used to that. I'll say it the correct way. But it'll take some time. Okay, so think about this. You got your sunscreen on your face because we're being smart about our protection of our skin. And then you go in the ocean and you start getting salt water in your eyes, and then the next thing you know, there's salt water and ocean, not ocean water. That's true, but there's salt water and sunscreen mixing in your eyes, and it doesn't feel great. But then you look around, there's all these other surfers, you're like, okay, they're doing it, I must be able to do it too, right? Then you get to the actual surfing part, and I guess I made the mistake of doing a like 10-minute arm workout on Friday on my lunch break, and then on Saturday we went surfing. And surfing, I hadn't really thought about like what parts of the body it uses. It uses a lot of muscles in my body that I haven't used a ton. Like my side muscles, my obliques are super sore today, which is awesome. It's a great workout, clearly. But then your arms, your shoulders, obviously, you're on the board, and when you're ready, when you see a wave coming and you're like, this is my wave, I'm gonna get it. Paddle, 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 and then push yourself up on the board, stand up. So there's legs involved once you're on the board, but it's mostly arms. And I didn't realize that I'd kind of tired my arms out before we even got in the ocean. Again, from a 10-minute arm workout I did on Friday. So even just to get out to the waves, before you're ready to catch a wave, you have to paddle a lot, and it's a consistent thing. And if you're not paddling enough, you can't get through those waves coming at you to get out past them. So I was very tired, I was feeling a little weak, and that was not great for my confidence. But you know what? We paddled through it, we kept going, Tucker was leading me, and I don't know if you guys have ever like been in a relationship and tried to teach one another something. It can go not well. Luckily, Tucker and I have kind of gone through a lot of this with the different like sports skills that I've been trying to learn this year, like ski touring, and what else have we been doing? I don't know, just a lot of things. And so luckily, we actually have learned that we kind of work well together. There were some moments where he was yelling like, paddle, paddle, paddle. And I was like, why are you yelling at me? And he's like, because it's loud and I have to yell at you. But yeah, I would just was, being a baby. Or he's like, paddle, go, this is your wave. And I'm like, I'm not ready for this one yet. There was a lot of mental hurdles to jump over, or mental waves to paddle over, I guess I should say. Just because you have to kind of go with your gut, or maybe not even listen to your gut. Just trust that you're prepared and you're gonna do it. And when that wave's coming, you have to paddle and you can't quit. Once you've decided that's your wave, you have to just paddle, 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 and then get up. Or if you decide you don't want to get up at that moment, you got to at least kind of hold yourself up on your board and just body surf it. But one time so we thought we were going to Short Sands, which is a big surfer spot, okay? But the waves at Short Sands Beach can get a little bigger than they can at some other places, at least this weekend. Like we looked at Pacific City, the waves were a little smaller. So Short Sands, they were supposed to be like 4, 5, 6, 7 feet. I was not ready for some 7 feet waves, but there were some big ones that came our way. And there was one that Tucker was like, okay, paddle, go, go, go. Next thing I know, it's probably like a 6-foot wave, and I'm at the top of it, and for some reason, my brain decides, you're not ready. Nope, you're not getting up on this wave. You're not ready. But you can't just bail in that moment. So instead, I just was like, I'm just going to body surf it. That's fine. I'm just going to lay on my board and do that, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be fun. But I guess I was a little too far forward on the board, and so the nose of the board went down on the wave, and the next thing you know, I'm in the ocean's washing machine, just upside down. Oh my God, which way is up? Oh my God, I can't breathe. And it was probably like 3 seconds of actual time, but it felt like forever. And then I came up and breathed, took a breath, and then the next thing you know, there's another wave coming. So then you're like, oh shoot, I gotta breathe again. I gotta paddle. Oh my God. It was a little stressful. And definitely a mental challenge of nope, you got to just be ready when the wave is there and if you've paddled and you've gotten yourself to the right spot, just try to stand up. The worst thing that can happen, for the most part, without letting my brain go like total worst case scenario, the worst thing that can happen, knock on wood, is you fall and then you end up in the same washing machine as if I didn't, as the same one as when I didn't try in the first place. Does that make sense? And that just seemed like a big metaphor for life. That like A, if you don't try, you don't get there. And B, if you just keep trying and keep trusting yourself that you can do the right thing and just keep pushing to the next step. What's the next step? Oh, okay, I paddled. Okay, we're here. Next step is stand up on the wave. And then don't necessarily worry about 5 steps from now when you fall off. I mean, be safe about it. But don't let the fear of that next step keep you from taking the step you're currently on. Does that make sense? These are the deep, ocean deep thoughts I've been having in my brain. But I will say it's been a while since I just tried a sport or tried anything that I was just a straight up beginner in. I mean, I haven't tried it since I was 12, okay? That was 19 years ago. That's a long time. And so it was humbling, and it will continue to be humbling. Surfing is a very humbling sport because you're just gonna fall on your face. And the ocean, I mean, you're battling Mother Nature. And we always remind ourselves we only can hope to come out with a tie with Mother Nature. You're not going to win against Mother Nature. She is very powerful and mighty. And she can humble you and go, hey, you're not that great at this. You're just spinning underwater. But then you come up and you breathe again and you're okay. Yeah. So I want to know, have you guys tried anything new lately? What's the most recent thing that you can remember in recent memory that you have tried, just starting over, starting at zero, starting brand new as a noob in the sport or a technical skill or a job or just something, you changed careers, something totally different? I'm very curious. So thank you for listening to my story for today. And now I will look at what you guys are saying. Hi, Adelaide. Hi, Glenn. Nope, I didn't lose my voice. I was just whispering because I don't want my landlord to hear me talking about him. But he's like, I don't know what he's doing outside. It is like dark outside, okay? And he's doing something and it's loud. Now, of course, he got quiet, so I don't want to say it anymore. He's really nice. It's fine. Wyatt says hi. So, you also said, how was that Blazers virtual fan experience? So, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a big fan of basketball, big fan of the NBA. When I was a kid, I was raised on the Seattle Supersonics. And unfortunately, they left us many years ago to go to Oklahoma and become the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Sonics will be back someday, okay? In the meantime, we're about to get the Seattle Kraken, and it's going to be great. But in Portland, we had the Portland Trail Blazers, and I am so excited that the Blazers are back, that basketball is finally back. It hasn't been on since sometime in the middle of March, I believe, because of the pandemic, of course. And now, if you don't know, they're calling it the Bubble. They're in Orlando. They're at Disney World. All of the NBA teams that are playing. And so no one is a home team. No one's on their home court. But they're trying to give these teams a home court advantage because it is huge. When you play at your home court, like when the Blazers play in Portland, there's a huge advantage because you have your home crowd fans, your home team fans. You have people cheering for you, yelling, screaming, instead of for the other team, you might have either no cheering or just some booing, right? If you're the away team. So they're trying to make that for the teams in the bubble in Orlando, Florida right now. And because there's no fans in the stands, obviously. There's like barely anyone outside of the team members traveling there with the team. Like most of the reporters that are usually go with the team are still at home reporting. And so what they're doing is through Microsoft Teams, they have a partnership with the NBA and they're doing virtual fans. So if you've watched any of these games, and if you haven't, you should watch closely. I think the Blazers are playing tomorrow at 3:30 perhaps. And these are big games, okay? Because the playoffs, it's almost time for the playoffs, so they got to win these games. So they're pumping in virtual fans. So like 3/4 of the court in the arena at Disney World are these giant screens. And then on these giant screens, they put up these virtual fans. So I got to be a virtual fan the other day. If you go to the KGW News YouTube channel, you can find the video there, or just search like KGW News Blazers virtual fan, maybe. Cassidy, put my name in there. I don't know. Hopefully you'll come up with it. Or tweet me at Cassidy Quinn. I'll send you the link. But they have sections of people. So I was sitting at home in my bed on Microsoft Teams, and I was looking at the game on one side of my screen and my virtual fan section on the other side of the screen. And it's really cool technology. Just like on Zoom, how you can change your background, put a fun virtual background. I guess you can do that on Microsoft Teams too. But so for these NBA virtual fans, it's just a cutout of yourself. Like they cut out whatever's in the background and then put you in a virtual seat. And then you can talk to the people in your section the whole game. You hear anyone else cheering. So I'm going, go Blazers. And if you want to start like a let's go Blazers chant or a defense, whatever you want to chant, you can hear the other people in your stands. You can do a wave with them. And it honestly was hilarious. Like I didn't know any of these other people in this section. And we're just like yelling at each other, having fun, pretending we can share food. Like, oh, who wants some of my hummus? Who wants some chicken wings? Whatever. And it was awesome. The best part about it, was that like you're watching it at home, but it actually felt like you were at the game and added more, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain feels dead right now, asleep right now. It felt that it was like more high stakes because you felt like you could impact the game and you felt like you were there, and it was a lot different than just watching it at home where you kind of feel very disconnected from it in a way. Apparently, sometimes in the game, they do pump the audio from the virtual fans into the arena so the players can actually hear you. So you feel like you can actually affect the game. And they said that so far in this NBA restart games, there actually has been a home court advantage. Like more of the home teams have been winning than the away teams, which is cool. Anyway, I felt very lucky to do it. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for asking. Austin, you asked, is this Super Bowl swag? It is. I worked out on my lunch break today, which was like 2 hours ago. And then I just like put this on and didn't take a shower yet. And I'm sorry, I'm not presentable for you all. But this is Mental Monday. This is where we get to be real and not have to take a shower. Just kidding. But yes, this is from the Super Bowl. I went with my dad last year in Atlanta, and it was so fun. So fun. I want to know how you guys are doing. This is Mental Monday. We get to talk about your brains, how you're doing, how you're feeling. I was talking earlier, if you're just tuning in, about, as you see the title of this video, is to humble yourself by trying something totally new. I tried surfing for the first time in 19 years, and it was a lot of fun, and it got me excited to keep trying it again, but it did make me very nervous doing something totally unknown, totally out of my skill set, out of my wheelhouse. But I think that's so healthy to engage your brain in that, in things that you don't know and that you're a beginner at, and to practice sucking at things because you can only get better at things unless you're just naturally good at everything. You can only get better at things if you got to start somewhere and you get better. That's what I always tell people, and what I've always heard about starting a YouTube channel or any social media. When you go back in a few years, you'll look at your first few videos or your first few posts on Instagram and you'll be a little embarrassed. You'll think, wow, that was not my best work. Of course it wasn't, because it was your first work ever, right? Which is crazy. Griznant just asked, what is that, like giraffe coffee mug looking thing in the background? Oh. It is not a giraffe mug. It is a plant. It's a plant. It's a llama. It's a llama corn, a llama unicorn. And I'm propagating some little plants. So we've got some little succulent leaves. You see those are the kind of neon green colors in there. And look, there's actually little tiny baby succulents growing off of them. Again, everything starts somewhere, even tiny little plants. These other little things are called a mother of thousands. My friends Emily and Ryan gave them to me. Because basically, if you have one of these mother of thousands plants, they start like this, these tiny, tiny little things, and then it grows into a big version of that. But then on the edge of the big version, it just grows a ton of these little tiny things, and then you can pluck them off and plant them. So my friend Emily gave me these. She was like, I have like 100 of these that I can give to you. So here you go. Matt, thank you for the unicorn super chat. You're so kind and clearly goes perfect with the llama corn. Oh my gosh. In other sadder plant-related news, I don't know if you guys have noticed in the background, I have 2 monstera plants over here. One of which is doing amazingly well. I mean, just look. This is crazy. There's so many leaves. And where's the new leaf? Where's the new leaf? Where there was just this leaf. She just opened up. Very, very exciting. However, then there's this one that is just, I don't even want to show you. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Okay, this is not a trailing plant that just like hangs down. It's basically dead. But I'm trying to save her. And someday on this channel, you will see a video of me attempting to save my monstera. She will either be great or it will be a video of me failing at saving her. But I have taken off one part of it and put it in some water and started to propagate it that way. And it's actually growing a root. And so I'm very excited. I'll just start a new plant. That's what I'm learning. Like if you think you're about to kill one of your plants, take part of it, put it in water, save its life. Oh, Patrick, I missed your question. Did I see you at a Carl Denson show a year or two ago at Revolution Hall? I love Revolution Hall. I've been to concerts there. I miss going to concerts there and everywhere else. But I don't think I was at a Carl Denson show. I do like jam bands, though. I believe. It's just like a band that jams, right? My dad has taken me to see Dead and Company a few times at the Gorge, and they're awesome. And I think, does that count as a jam band? Is that a bad question? Don't judge me. But they just jam out. Like, that's why Grateful Dead, one of the reasons they got such a huge following back in the day that still continues to now, because every show they did was different because they just jam out. It was never just the same set of songs. And so they do that now with John Mayer as their lead singer, which is crazy. I have not ever seen Fish. No, Patrick. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Wyatt, you say you're doing really great now that sports are back. You're really into podcasts now, and you're in love with it. Question for you. Should I start a podcast? I might already have the answer in my brain of what I think, but I will ask you guys because you are my friends that hang out here on Mental Monday. I guess while you're here, if I had a podcast, what would you like to see on it? Who would you like to see on it? Because I would love to do some interviews and hang out with people. Okay, no one is commenting, telling me whether or not I should do a podcast or whether or what the newest thing they've done that they've tried to be new at and try a new skill. Patrick, why are you booing me? Are you booing the podcast idea? Aaron, you played cornhole for the first time. Tossing a beanbag is harder than it looks. Yes, Aaron, I have attempted to play cornhole a few times, and I am bad at it. I am very bad at cornhole. I don't know why, but like I hate playing cornhole because you always play like at a bar, like or in someone's backyard at a very public place. And I just don't like everyone staring at me playing cornhole so badly. Like I'll just I'll underestimate my strength, throw it way too far, or I'll then try to overcorrect and throw it way too short. It'll land right in front of me, or I'll like let it go, it'll go behind my head, or I'll shoot it too far to the right. So then I'll try to overcorrect to the left and it'll go way far left, way far away. And again, you're in a public place, like you might hit someone, okay? So it is very hard. Some people get good at it. And I like to tell myself with cornhole the same thing I said earlier, like you got to start somewhere and you can only get better from there. But sometimes you're just not going to be good at it. And maybe that's how I am with cornhole. But I have faith in you, Aaron, okay? I do. Yes, Patrick, that would be awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. I want to go to a concert. I am so bad at or I get nervous about committing to events that are far in the future. So I have never done a great job of buying concert tickets in advance as an adult. Like when I was a kid and I'd tell my parents Spice Girls are coming into town or Britney Spears or NSYNC or whoever, like they would buy the tickets, so we'd buy them when they came out, right? And like I'm not gonna have other plans as a kid. If I have a concert, if the Spice Girls are coming into town a year from now, I'm gonna be there, okay? Like I have no other plans. I'm a child, but as an adult, I don't know. Like, am I gonna move? Are my plans gonna change? Am I gonna have a video I want to do? Like, there's other things that can pop up, so I don't buy concert tickets in advance very often. But this summer, Tucker and I got our stuff together and we bought tickets to 3 concerts, and then none of them happened. I, though, am excited because hypothetically the concerts will be rescheduled for hopefully next summer, and then we'll have like surprise free concert tickets. Because I don't know if you guys have gone through this, but this year, if an event you had tickets to is canceled or postponed, depending on the venue and what the event is, you can get a refund, or you can get a gift card for when events are happening at that venue in the future, or you could just, sorry, now I'm reading your comments and getting distracted in my brain, or like there's just different things you can do. So I've chosen to just not get refunds and just hopefully get to go to the show next year, because that would be so fun and wonderful. Yeah, you guys are saying do a podcast. I appreciate that. Wyatt says do one about mental health, so thank you guys. I will keep thinking that. And yes, punny names, always a must, Austin. You know me too well. Hi, Ben. Hi, Garage Gamer. You say you miss seeing me on TV? Fun fact, I don't know if you guys watch our Sunrise show, but tomorrow you'll see me on TV at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. Just like for a second. You usually, if I do a segment for KGW right now, it airs at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. So I'm still on TV, just not as much as I was, obviously, when we were doing Tonight with Cassidy. Because, the pandemic happens, we go on hiatus, and who knows? I will have updates for you guys about a lot of things soon. Like, in a few weeks, I have a lot to tell you, which is kind of fun to say, because I get to be like one of those YouTube people that's like, I have something to tell you, but I can't tell you yet. And only if you've been here for all 27 minutes of this live stream will you know that I have something to tell you. Oh, secrets. Oh, Ben, you say call you Benny. I will call you Benny. Do you know anyone? Do you know the Jets? Benny and the Jets? Anyone? And yes, you should totally go to a concert at the Gorge. Hi, Living Life with Lisa. How are you doing? If you're just tuning in, feel free to leave a comment of how you're doing today. And my brain is falling apart. The most recent thing you have tried as a beginner. Like you started at ground zero, you're ready to just begin. Because I tried surfing for the first time in 19 years this weekend. And I forgot to say, I did catch like multiple waves. We're saying like 1.5 waves. I stood up for a few seconds. I didn't get my feet in the right spot totally. So, because I'm still getting used to the whole like popping off the board. What I'm working on now, on day 1, of course, is figuring out the timing and paddling of then, okay, this is when I stand up. Then I gotta work on where my feet go when I stand up, and then what you do after you successfully stand up. But I did catch a couple of waves, and that was the goal, was to catch 1 wave. So that was great. I was very excited. Donnie says, hi, Cassidy. Hope everyone's weekend was A-okay. You uploaded your mock-up recreation of Sam Zabka's chimes? That sounds cool. What? Dave says, you love me. Thank you. I appreciate you. How have I been? I've been good. Went to the beach this weekend. Went to Short Sand. Sorry, there's like something floating in my air here. And tried to learn how to surf. And update on the surfing. Fun fact, if you're in the surf community, you might know there's a surfboard called a Wave Storm. They make a lot of beginner surfboards, which are like big foam boards that are 8 feet long, and they sell them at Costco. But a lot of times they sell out because they have a huge cult following, and they're $180. And then people use them for a super long time. So they just went back in stock, and Tucker and I just ordered some this morning, so I'm very excited, which means I have to learn how to surf, like, for real now. Because once you pay money for something, you gotta commit. You gotta. Garage Gamer, you made tomato jam yesterday? That sounds delicious. Was it garden fresh tomatoes from your yard? I'm literally like drooling right now thinking about fresh garden tomatoes. They make my life. They are the best. I need to go visit my parents in Seattle to see if they have tomatoes in their garden. Oh man, I'm hungry. Tucker should be back with our sushi very shortly. Benny, you say book a guide and fish for salmon in Astoria? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do you have any tips of where we should go, who we should do it with? Because I would love to do that. Garage Gamer, can I have some of your tomatoes? Please, I want tomatoes. I might have mentioned this before to you guys, but fun fact, when I was a kid, we had down the street, we had a lovely neighbor named Sally. We lived on an alley, so we called her Sally Down the Alley. And Sally Down the Alley had a bunch of tomato plants. And at Halloween, when we went trick-or-treating, Sally Down the Alley would give me, as a small child, tomatoes instead of candy because I had enough candy and I wanted tomatoes, okay? I wanted fresh tomatoes. So and you pickled zucchini? What? Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so glad you're home. Tucker's home with the sushi. We're talking about garden fresh tomatoes and zucchini, and that sounds amazing. Dave, you asked our favorite sushi place. The place who first went out to sushi in Southeast Portland is called Miyamoto, right? I would say that might be my favorite place in Portland. Bamboo Sushi, also really, really good. But our go-to place is kind of like a budget sushi place, so we don't feel that bad to have it all the time. It's called Sansai on Northwest 23rd, 21st, and it's always happy hour. Like, a lot of things are half off all the time. Of course, I'll say a plug that if you are ordering food right now from local restaurants, try calling them. I hate picking up the phone, probably more than you do, but you just call them, and then they get all the money instead of the money getting to, like, the apps and stuff, right? Anyway, I guess we're gonna go eat our sushi. Thank you guys for hanging out, talking about trying new things. It really does humble you, and I think it's a good thing to practice for your brain to just try sucking at something and genuinely figure out if you like it, and then buy a surfboard, and then you have to do it more. Oh, Wyatt, last question. Are you still on the radio? I am. I'm on 98.7 The Bull here in Portland, 7 to midnight. I'm on there right now. It's magic. How does that work? You'll never know. More secrets. Wow, I'm a butthead today. I love you all. Go do something nice for your brains, and I will see you next time. Bye!